and I have helped some of my students also write and publish their books. So when you do something repetitively, it sort of becomes a process, right? And that process helps you avoid a lot of pitfalls and ensures success repeatedly. So that is what, hi Shubham, I am planning to share with you today, the 6-step approach and the groundwork that you should do that can ensure that your book can be a bestseller. So let me try and understand who are on the call so that I can maybe give specific examples that helps you directly. If you can type in the work that you do or the field that you're in, maybe you're a marketer, or you're a manager, or you're a freelancer, or you own a business, however it is, content writer, Akash, okay. Yeah, marketing, awesome. Founder, awesome. Okay. Coder, Nishant, okay, great. Okay, and make sure you stay till the end of the session. I want to give you something that probably helps you write and publish your book in next 30 days or so. Okay, any other? So far, I've got 4 unique ones: marketing, content writer, which I believe would be or could be freelancer, founder, tech domain. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could be a coach, you could be a solopreneur, or you could be a techie marketer, anything, right? Now, the whole thing. Okay, before we continue, here is the promise. By end of this session, I'm going to give you the exact steps that you can take to write and publish your first book in 4 weeks, right from today. And just to give you a sense, I was in corporate for 15 years, and there was an incident which put me in hospital for 2 weeks. I was predominantly working with startups, so those 2 weeks gave me ample time to reflect on what I was doing. And that's when I decided that, I need to do something which impacts a lot of people. And 1 year from there, I quit my job and started blogging. And I had to start with what I know, my strong point, which was project management. And in order to make it work in the busy online space, I had to learn and implement marketing as well. Online marketing, various aspects of it, right from copywriting, content creation, writing on social media, writing books, long format, short format, SEO, anything and everything that you need to establish your business and earn from it. And one of the things that I realized is that you can always leverage the strength of platforms, right? And Amazon is such a huge platform where you will find audience for pretty much any domain or any niche that you are in. And my initial intent was just to create awareness about my blog and my training or coaching services. So I wrote a book on Amazon. And I ended up writing 2 series and few standalone books, all put together 17 there. And the first book itself, call it a beginner's lit maybe, went on to become a bestseller. So I ended up writing 3 bestsellers. And I could get much more out of the platform. I just wanted to create awareness, but then I ended up growing 12 times in the first year. So the title of this session, I basically have put, you can grow 2x, but literally you can grow without any limits if you know how to utilize the platform and how to create your content in a way that resonates with your target audience, right? So that is what I'm going to share in this session today. So hey Harish. All right, so the question is, why should you write a book, right? Now, if you are an expert at something, you owe it to your community and to yourself to share it with people. And when you do that, you want to do that in the most efficient way to reach most number of people that you can help, right? And you also probably have to ensure that you build authority in your niche, whatever niche it is, right? If you are a programmer, you want to come out as somebody who is a strong programmer, who has authority in technical field for different people, hiring managers, or it could be startup founders, anyone who's looking to recruit people, right? And similarly, if you're a CEO, you want to attract right kind of talent. You want to attract right kind of ventures. So you have to build authority in your niche. If you are a freelancer, you want to be able to get projects, and the better you build your authority, the better rates you will be able to command, right? So if you are a business owner, or if you are a solopreneur, maybe you want to get leads, tons and tons of leads. And you can nurture them and convert them into customers. In fact, about 60% of my students for my courses and coaching have found out about me through my books on Amazon. And that's a huge gain from one platform where you literally don't spend anything at all to publish your book, right? So you have to take advantage of these platforms of the knowledge to share your knowledge and fulfill your objectives, whatever objectives they are. And that helps you grow. That helps you grow faster. That helps you grow much better, much higher, right? So the word authority has the word author in it. So there is no, at least in my knowledge of building two businesses in two niches, there is no shorter way or a better way than writing a book to gain authority, right? So that is why you need to write a book. And people have this misconception that they have to be super experts. They have to be like top of the top in their field to write a book. That is simply not true. If you are an expert in your field, and I will define the word expert, it can be subjective. If you are an expert in your field, you should write the book. Because if you can produce results consistently using a process, that makes you an expert, right? Let's take the example of writing and publishing book. Let's say your first book went through, let's say you did the research and like I did, you went about writing and publishing your first book. You probably did a lot of mistakes. A lot of things worked, a lot of things didn't work. So that puts you 2 notches ahead of somebody who's just thinking about writing the book, right? And as you publish the book again and again, you will find out what to do, when to do, how to do, and you'll sort of come out with your own process to do this, which avoids all pitfalls, which just takes you from point A to point B. That is an idea of a book to publishing the book in the shortest possible way. In fact, I teach my students to write and publish the book over a weekend. So 2 days it sounds probably not possible, but it is very much possible when you know exactly what to do, when you take the path of least resistance, right? So here the goal is 30 days, and that is definitely possible. All right. Now let's try, and you can keep sending your questions on the chat. We'll try to make this interactive, and I'm going to share a screen now, like I did in my previous live stream, where I used a mind map to express or explain the process, and it went very well. So I'll take one question at this stage and keep them flowing, and we'll also have a Q&A in the end. Harish asks, self-publishing makes distribution hard. Actually, it is the other way around. You can, of course, publish. There are two ways to publish. The traditional publishing, where you do it from with a publishing house. That is very investment intensive, as well as you cannot expect to earn too much of royalties there, and it's a slow process. As an author, you need to invest a lot. You need to buy certain number of books yourself, all that. But self-publishing is extremely easy. It is extremely straightforward, especially since Amazon came online. There are many other online self-publishing platforms as well, but I would not think of going with anyone else than Amazon, just for the sheer number of people that are there on the platform and the simplicity of publishing, as well as how you can sort of intertwine, or you can basically engineer your book for your objective. And we'll talk about that in a bit now. So let me try and share the screen now. Let me know if you can see a blue box that says how to write your bestseller in 30 days and grow 2x. Let me know in the comments, please, while I take a quick water break. And just to clarify, we are talking about non-fiction book here. We're not talking about novels, right? We're talking about non-fiction books, which you can leverage to grow in your career or in your business. It could be a business book, or it could be a sort of tech book. All right, so, okay, you can see the screen, which is awesome. So the main thing I want to tell you is the pre-work, right? The pre-work, the work that you do before you even write the first word of your book. I will say this is foundational work. This is very essential, because a book basically, literally, it's in your head before it takes a physical form. And you need to engineer your book. And you need to do that in certain specific ways, so that your objective for the book is fulfilled, right? So the very first thing that you need to figure out, if you're not sure, is what is the objective, right? That is, why are you writing this book? There are several ways, right? Based on the field you're in, based on the niche you're in. It may be to earn money, which is definitely possible, with the direct sales as well as the back end products that you may have, and you make your book as the first step into your marketing funnel, right? So earning money, or getting leads for your business. Again, we talked about, anybody and everybody who's looking to grow can use the book as a sort of a tool. So if you are in a freelancing business or your own, you can write it to get leads. And when you do it smartly, you can even get leads before someone decides to buy the book, right? So you can use to get the leads or get customers, um, get joint venture partners, basically build authority also, right? That's the underlying point here. Or it could be something else, Well, if you have any other objective, let me know during our Q&A, and we'll talk about that. So once you know the objective, then you need to understand your ideal reader. Now, ideal reader, when I say ideal reader, is the reader that is going to get something out of this book, right? Like I said, when I wrote my books in project management domain, it was for a specific reason. I was supporting people to prepare for a particular exam, certification exam, and the goal was to help them pass it, right? The entire series books, standalone books, all of them had that single goal. And the more I understood their pain points, their struggles, their issues, problems that they are coming across on that path, I could address them. So understanding your ideal reader is very, very essential, right? Know their problems, their desires. Pardon my spelling errors there, right? Pain points, dreams. The more you know about them, better you can write for them, right? That's the second point. These are all the areas that you have to put work in. Even if you are very clear about your book's objective or the content, even if you are very clear, doing this research, call this market research. Doing this research helps you in various stages of writing and publishing your book. And the third point that you need to understand is, or you need to do, is chart the path to promised land. Now, for your ideal reader, the end goal could be one of the two things, get rid of pain or gain a pleasure. And you can basically you can basically portray the end goal in either of these ways. Let's take my example of helping people pass this examination. Now, if you look from the, relieve the pain perspective, many people take this exam because they feel they are stuck in their career. They need to go to the next level, right? And this certification exam opens door for them, gives them opportunities to grow in their career. So the pain they're experiencing is lack of growth, lack of opportunities, or being stagnated, right? These are some of the things that I understood. So you can position it that way, or you can understand it that way, or you can also say that, okay, it is, you want to have the gain. You want to have the word PMP, which represented the qualification there next to your name. And that will open up a lot of opportunities for growth, right? So you need to chart the path from where they are currently in the area of feeling that pain to the end goal or the promised land where they will reach. When they reach there, how do they feel? And you have to basically chart. When you chart the path, you chart the steps, right? Let's take this very topic of this session, that you want to write a book. You need to know why I'm writing the book, right? From where you are to the point where, what happens after your book is published, all the press that you get, all the marketing benefits that you get, all the joint venture opportunities that you get, all the, based on which domain you are in, all the benefits that you are going to enjoy, that's the promised land. And in between, there are various ways. First, you need to do the foundational work that we are talking about. Then you need to come out with a plan of writing. Then you need to get it, complete the draft. Then you need to get it proofread, or before that, copy reading and all that. And then finally, you have to publish. And that is when you will be reaching your goal. So you need to charter this path for your ideal reader from the point of pain to the point of where they want to be, or where they will be when they achieve their goal. So this path is very important, from pain to gain. Chartering this path helps you in many ways, as we will see soon. Then you will probably not want to put the entire thing in your book, entire solution from pain point to the goal in your book. The narrower you make your book, the finite goal that you help someone achieve through your book, the more pull it will be, your book will be in the market. That is one of the things that I've realized. So you need to decide how far in this charted path of promised land will your book help them progress, right? It could be first step, it could be first two steps, however you want to do. And that clarity you must have beforehand, before you decide to write your book, right? And finally, you choose how to publish. This could be traditional or self-publishing. Now, we talked about the problems with traditional publishing. It is expensive, it is lengthy, it is not very beneficial as well, because you don't have much of a control once you sign a deal. And then eventually the revenue that you earn also is very, very minimal. Compared to that, self-publishing is a gold mine, right? So, and in this, we will only talk about self-publishing, that too on Amazon, because that's where you get the most bang for your bucks. So if once you have worked on these 5 steps, foundational work, it probably will decide, how quickly or how effectively your book will be in the market, as well as potentially it can become a bestseller. So this work that we put in here will decide there. All right. So let us actually move on to the real part, or the second part, I would say, not the real part, where the 6 steps that you need to take to publish your book. So I'll call this the 6-step process. Now we will look back at some of the foundational work steps through this, because we will be using, of course, them in this process. The first thing you need to figure out is exactly what is the outcome of your book, to the reader. This is that single most outcome that they will have when they are done with your book, right? Maybe it is getting to know exactly how to proceed with their first step or first two steps or first three steps, right? That we have charted in point number 3 in the foundational work, where we charted the entire path from pain to promised land. So that is where you start off the process of writing your book, deciding where exactly, how far exactly your book takes them, and what is that outcome that they will get from your book. The second thing is you begin writing and you complete your first draft. So that is a very important milestone, and it probably is hardest of the 6 steps. The first draft takes time, takes effort. So there are a couple of things that you can make simpler here. One is to have a deadline. If you keep it open-ended, I have seen some of people who have spent 3, 4, 5 years and they are still writing the book, right? So it's essential to give yourself a deadline. It could be 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. And once you have the deadline, you can work backwards and have the smaller milestones. So you call it a plan. You got, I mean, yeah, it is a plan basically. From the deadline, you create the plan. And then most importantly, you write every day. So if you can have these 3 components together, you will make a lot of progress and you will be able to finish your first draft probably sooner than you would imagine otherwise. Writing every day is very essential because it gives you continuity. It gives you continuity, and writing is a creative process. So you have to have your writing hour or whatever time slot you give yourself, and writing every day helps you complete your first draft. And of course, you do the second or final draft, right? Now, what do you do between your first draft and final draft? The first draft is typically just getting everything that you have in your mind onto either paper, or for most of us, it is, maybe Word document or some kind of software on the laptop, on the computer. So that is the first draft. You go as per the structure, and then you start filling in all your, thoughts and things that you have in mind around each of those topics, and you create your first draft. The second draft or the final draft, in most cases, you wouldn't need more than 2, right? Is where you give it the structure, in the sense, the journey that you want to take your reader on, right? You make sure that each of your chapters or each of your, even paragraphs, they move them towards that. Because this is not a novel, this is not a fiction. So we cannot have too many plots and then only in the end it will all come together. It will not be that kind of an approach. This is a very straightforward, it's a non-fiction book. It's a very straightforward, goal-oriented book. So you have to make sure that the way you have represented the information through the various chapters or various sections, they get them towards that goal, right? So that perspective you will implement in the second draft when you are working on the initial draft, and you will put together the sentence structure, the ideation, whether a paragraph is literally living up to what it is supposed to be conveying. And you may also trim a lot of content which is unnecessary. You may put in maybe some illustrations, some images, some graphs, whatever is required, some examples, right, etc. So all those things give this draft a readable shape. And this is also potentially the stage where you start engaging with your beta readers. Now, beta readers, not every author does this, but it's a good practice that I have seen helping me a lot. So your ideal reader, right? You make a small group of such people who will need your book, and then you work with them. So you share your final draft with them and get their feedback and see whether the book is, doing what it is supposed to be doing. So it's the sort of a, trial run that you're doing. And that feedback you can incorporate and make your book much more uh, effective. So this is the ideation to execution, I would say. And then beta readers engagement phase as well, you could say. Then the final or the next step would be copy editing and proofreading. Some amount of this, let me tell you, that there is no very compartmentalized steps here. Some of these would be done in the third step as well, where you complete your final draft. You also would be doing some of copy editing. Copy editing again is, grammatical adjustments, sentence structure, active voice, passive voice, all those things. And proofreading is the final step before actually publishing. So those things are done in fourth step. Now this fifth step, which is designing your book cover and metadata, this is probably very, very essential from the perspective of your book's success. They always say, you don't judge a book by its cover, but here literally your book cover decides how many eyeballs it will get on the platform, how many people will find it intriguing that they will feel the need to click on the book cover and then maybe go to the book page, read through the title, subtitle. These are all metadata, by the way, right? Title, subtitle, description. Right, all these things, and the imagery that you have used, the font you have used, the colors you have used, that can make your book image stand apart from a zillion other books in the niche. So this is very essential. The keywords that you use, right, all those help make your book stand apart. And the final step is, of course, publishing. And we are talking about Amazon KDP platform. And the process here is very, very simple and straightforward. All that you need is your manuscript in a format that the KDP platform accepts, and your book cover. And all the market research, it's a heavy word to use, but all the foundational work that you have done probably helps you here to create a very specific as well as benefit-oriented title, subtitle, the description, the keywords. You need to enter around 5 keywords that your book is associated with, which helps people to search or find your book when they search for any specific keywords in Amazon. And you will also choose categories. You need to know which categories have less competition, and because when you can list your category related to your book, of course, book niche will have several categories, but you can select only handful of them, 2 or 3. But if you can find out which categories have less competition, then your book has a better chance of being shown in that niche among those books, getting more people to take a look at your book and see the value, buy them, and it contributes towards making your book a bestseller. So that is very essential. The actual process itself is very straightforward. You create your account on Amazon. It's a wizard where you keep on entering all these things that we talked about: title, subtitle, description, etc. You upload your manuscript, you upload your cover image, and then you choose the pricing, and that's it. You publish, and then someone manually will verify those things. If they have a question, you will get an email, but in most cases, within few hours, your book will be published and available on Amazon platform. So in essence, of course, I have given you maybe a 10,000 feet high overview of the whole process. But if you can follow this groundwork as well as 6-step process, you can be very, very assured that you will be able to reach the target audience that you are looking to help with your book, and achieve any objective that you have for your book. So let me try and look through any questions you may have. Feel free to ask any questions. So a question is, these days, it's a very valid question, and I hope you will see the power of book here. These days, I feel that video courses have a better edge than the books. This is just my view. What do you think on this, Shiv? Very true, very true. And that is why the objective of your book should not be only to, make revenue. You will think of funnel for your business. Every business, any business will have a funnel, right? And the simplest funnel that we all talk about is AIDA, AIDA. That stands for awareness, interest, desire, and action. So that's the journey that you will take your prospect from becoming somebody, from being somebody who does not know about your product to becoming a customer. And in the funnel, you will also have multiple offers of yours with the increasing value. So usually the first step in your funnel is something which is of a lower value, lower price, but very high value, because people do not just want to spend a lot of money with a business unless they trust them. And book not just gives you authority, it is also a very low threshold step for your prospect to take. Few dollars they can spend, get your book, and see the tremendous value that you're providing, and that gives them trust with you, with your brand, with your offers, and then they will come to the next offer that you have, which could be the video course. So if you have a video course, that's one more reason why you should write the book. And one of the steps that we saw was that, rather the very first step was, how far in that journey from pain to promised land are you taking your prospect or your customer or your reader through your book? So if it has helped them get past the first blocker in that journey, and your video course or your coaching or your any other training backend offer helps them go all the way till the promised land, then they have seen the value that you've provided for a very less price that they have invested in. And then from here, they will come to you and maybe sign up for your course for a higher fee. Great question. Many authors spend years to write a book. That is true. That is true. And once you have a process, you can do, like I said, even even on a weekend. And again, I'm talking about non-fiction book here. We are not talking about novels and all that. You can do it pretty quickly. 1 month, 3 months is very much doable time frame, because you would be doing this in parallel to your day job or any other work, right? Or your business. For me, a book has to be timeless somehow, so it needs long months of work. Yes, a book has to be timeless, in the sense, whenever you pick up the book, it should be able to solve that problem. Some of books we have seen, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends book, which was written long back. Even today, it is so valuable and effective. But it doesn't mean that the more value you create, the more time it should take to write the book. Not at all. It depends on how you structure the user's or reader's journey, how you write, right? The tone that you use, the words that you use, the examples that you use, the process that you give, right? That is valuable to your end user. The shortest path with the least effort that they can take to the next step along their journey would be the value for them. So yes, the book has to be valuable, especially because it builds your authority, it builds trust for you, it also gets you customers for your other offers, and all that thing. So it has to be very valuable. It does not mean that it will take a lot of time. How do you price the book, and what is Amazon's cut? Asks Harish. Great question. Keep writing your questions if you have. I'll try to answer as many as I can. I scrolled up and I missed that question. How do you price the book? Okay, and what is Amazon's cut? Now, Amazon does not mandate how much you price the book, and you will never know, right? The thumb rule is, the higher the value that your book provides, the more pricey it can be. Now, I'm always up for experimentation. I never knew, what was the sweet spot for as far as the pricing of the book is concerned. So, but let me also talk about the pricing structure that Amazon has. It basically has two pricing structure, not pricing structure, royalty structure. So you can get 35% royalty or 70% royalty. And this royalty are tied up with the pricing range, right? So if you have a book up till, I think, $3.99, $3.99, then and beyond $10 without any upper limit, then you will have 35% royalty bucket, and $3, I think 2.10 to 2.999. So 3 to 9.99 or 3 to 10, I would say, is 70%. So you would want to probably, keep your prices in this range first and see how it is going. I have started one of the strategies that I have done for pricing is this. I started with $1, and then every week I increase the price by $1. And then I think I found a sweet spot, which is the most sales done for that particular price range, was $6.99. So that is where I left, so you basically do some kind of experimentation and see which pricing works for you. And that is how you decide. There is no straightforward rule saying, number of pages and, the pricing. any such relation is not there. It depends on the value and probably some amount of experimentation. Any other question? Let me know if you have. Okay, I don't think there are any questions. So let me also give you how I can help. I promise you that in the end, I will help you with your book to probably, with a 4 weeks time plan, you can write it. So I will type in. This is the link. You can go to Linktree/Shiv Shenoy, and you will find the option to book a 30-minute free consultation with me. Book a slot. It'll ask you a couple of questions like which niche you want to be in and all that. Very simple question so that I get a sense of, how I can prepare to help you most in this session. It's a free session for 30 minutes. I have opened it up for, I think, next few weeks. So you can go ahead and book this free session, and I will help you with any question you may have, or if you need any help with identifying the topic. You know the structure now. I hope you have made some notes. And on this session, on this call, you can ask me any questions that you may have. I'll be happy to help you along. Okay, to begin with, how many pages can we write to publish an author, and how long it may take to write? Excellent question. Now, it is possible, again, depending on the number of steps along your ideal reader's journey to the promised land, you will decide how many to how far in this journey do you want your book to take your reader. And according to that, you may decide to share a lot of information. But I feel that anywhere between 80 to 120 pages, again, this is based on my experimentation, right, is what we should aim for. Because if a book is too long, the less chances of it being completed. So if you give them a shorter journey with a specific outcome at the end of it, and if it can be done in a 1 or 2 hours of reading, which is typically what an 80-page or 100-page book takes, then that is excellent. Because your goal is to make your reader complete your book, right? If they have bought, that has not helped you in your objective. So the more people complete your book, the better it is for you, right? So based on my experimentation, 80 to 120 pages probably is the good range in terms of number of pages. And again, in the final draft that we talked about, we try and reduce the unnecessary information. Some people have this wrong impression that their book has to be 200 odd pages, and they add a lot of content, which doesn't really help. Again, it may help, that strategy may help with fiction, but for non-fiction, again, we are talking about taking the reader on a typical journey with a specific end goal. The lesser number of pages we can do this in, better it is. So we take away a lot of unnecessary content in the final draft. So your first draft can shrink by as much as 30 to 40% as compared to the final draft. And pricing, I talked about, how to do that. How long it may take? Like I said, if you are crystal clear about the objective and how to get there, and if you have done the market research, the foundational steps, you can write in 1 weekend from Saturday morning you can start, Sunday night you can publish the book. But having a 1 month or 3 month plan is very much doable. And I think you need to have, at least for your first couple of books, you need to give that kind of a time between 1 and 3 months. Okay, I think I don't see any more questions. Like I said, we can talk one-on-one, and I can help you with your specific needs using the Linktree link that I've shared here. You are most welcome to book a 30-minute session with me. It is free of cost. So I will be doing a lot of these kind of sessions going forward. A great way to a good way to connect with me is through LinkedIn, and this Linktree profile you will find many ways of connecting with me. I will look forward to meeting you, talking to you, helping you along, and I'll see you in another session. Take care. Bye.